Hello and welcome to UFPTC. My name is NapalmF, and today we're going to be talking about the client-server relationships, and we're going to do a little Netcat demo to talk about it. So first off, let me create a new tab in my terminal. To do that, you do Control, Shift, and T. So there we go. I'm just going to rename these real quick to be our server and our client. Just for a quick note for you guys, be sure to use the multiple tabs in the terminal. It is a godsend, and it will make your life so much easier. All right, so today we're going to talk about client-server relationships. So most of you will probably know what this is, but again, for the newbies, a server is something that serves a kind of provides a service to a client. So if you think about like at a restaurant, you have your waiters and your people who are eating. Let's not even care about the cooks in the kitchen, but your waiters bring you food, and you eat that food. So what's really going on is they're servers and you're a client. Server-client relationships in the computer world work very much the same. You have servers like web servers whose only goal is to give you, web pages, and you have, clients who need those web pages. So a client basically is like someone who's requesting those pages. So I'm hoping that kind of works a bit for you guys, kind of makes sense. You will be actually doing a demo, so it might be a little bit easier to understand. But there is one thing I do want to talk about before we go any further, and that is P2P connections. So right now we're at this point in computer history where we've been introduced to something called peer-to-peer connections, which takes the traditional method and kind of punches it in the face. So in the issue with server-client relationships right now is if a server goes down, a client can no longer talk to it. And that is an issue because, entire data and services could be lost because of one server going down. So peer-to-peer connections aim to solve that by making everyone not only a server but also a client. So it works in more of a mesh. One client's connecting to another client who's connecting to another client, and they're all in some sort of deep mesh where they're sharing information and redistributing information at will. So that's just something to keep in mind for later stuff. That's just something to understand, like bigger topics like Tor and BitTorrent. All of those are good examples of peer-to-peer networking. So let's talk about client mode in Netcat. So we've seen this before when we connected to Google.com through port 80. So we asked for a web page, and we were a client. We got a web page back from Google.com. That was the idea. So the way to do it is you go Netcat, type in where their server is and what port they're at, and that puts you into a client mode. Now, if you want to be a server, Netcat also has the ability to be a server. So Netcat minus LVVP. What this does is L tells it to listen, the VV tells it to be super verbose, meaning that it tells you more information, like when people connect, stuff like that. You'd only want it to be LP if you only want to view the information that's being sent over the page and nothing else, and then a port to bind it to. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and it'll say, okay, we're listening on port 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to our local loopback over here, and go to port 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's type in some information. And we'll see, oh, we got a connection, and now we can chat between the two. So that's a cool little demo right there, a basic chat program in Netcat. And also a cool little bonus is that none of this is logged. So if you're looking for a secure communications channel, unlogged communications channel, and Netcat is anything but secure because you don't have any sort of encryption going on. But we'll talk about that later in a port tunneling channel, or the port tunneling chapter. Basically, what's going on right now is we've got complete unfettered communication between the server and the client. And now, if the client were to disconnect, we disconnect over here because we have no one to talk to anymore. That port closed itself once the server unbinded itself from port 1234. So I think that's pretty much about it on the Netcat server-client relationships. Again, if you don't understand this, go through it a couple times. Maybe look up some stuff on Google. It's really, really important that you understand how servers and clients work. And so, basically, just thank you for very much for watching. You know, please subscribe if you like what we're doing here. Also, give us some feedback. I'd really, really appreciate any feedback right now. Thank you very much.